fans of high-quality entertainment, I thought I would talk about Paul McCartney. It's been a while. I think last year I showed you the box sets I have of Paul McCartney's, the archive editions, and a couple of years ago I ranked and reviewed all of his albums, but I thought, you know, it's time again to talk about Sir Paul McCartney. So I'll start with 3 live albums I have of his. Wings Over America. Now this is the one that came out in 2013. And then I know this came out again in 2019 along with 3 other live albums. And these are the 2 I have. The other 2. And I'd heard that it wasn't, you know, the sound was the same on when this was reissued in 2019 again, so I just decided to keep this one. Nice gatefold, but the thing is, it was originally on 3 vinyl records and it's on 2 CDs here. The packaging isn't the greatest though, so I don't know if the 2019 was any better than this one. But of course, it is a great live album. Comes with a little mini booklet, nothing to write home about. And I think I played it last night for the first time, probably since I bought it. Like, you know, I bought it and I played it, and then year after year it just sits in my CD collection. But it's a great live album. It's just I would prefer to listen to the studio albums usually. Then there is this live album that I'd never bought until it was reissued in 2019, Paul is Live. I've listened to it once, and it's good, but like I said, I usually prefer a studio albums. Comes with a nice little mini poster. But like I said, I've only played it a couple of times, and it's good, it's okay. And then this, I'm really happy I bought it when Paul McCartney was live at a record store in Los Angeles. I highly recommend, if you're a big Paul McCartney fan and you haven't decided about buying this, I highly recommend it because it's my favorite live album of his. And it would be, probably be one of my top 10 live albums ever. Now, first of all, the albums of his that I don't have are Kisses on the Bottom, which I did own. When it came out, I did buy it, and then it was okay. It wasn't terrible, but I only played it once, and I ended up selling it. I might get it again at some point, but if I did, I probably would never play it, so what's the point, I guess. And then there's Press to Play, which I did a video a couple of years ago, Does This Album Suck? Press to Play, and I hadn't heard the whole album, I don't think ever. And so I listened to it, and the whole video is me listening to it sped up, and at the end of it I said, this album sucks. And then, a little while later, I'm ranking and reviewing the album, so of course I had to play it again, and I gave it a pretty good review. And, I got kind of slammed for it by 2 or 3 people, but that happens. Like, the first time you listen to an album, you might not like it, and then it takes, more listens to appreciate it. So Press to Play, I'm actually looking forward to it being remastered, hopefully, one day. But the 2 that I think a lot of Paul McCartney fans are looking forward to, and hopefully this year, are Back to the Egg by Wings, Paul McCartney and Wings, and especially London Town, one of my all-time favorite Paul McCartney albums. And I just haven't bought the original CD of it because I'm just waiting for the remastered version of it. I'm patient. I can listen to it on Spotify for now anyway. But yeah, Back to the A2 is great, but like I said, London Town is one of my favorites. So the box sets I have, in case you haven't seen the video, I'll just quickly show them. I have Mccartney. Oh, this one's a little heavier. I have Ram. My favorite Paul. Oh, I'll quickly say, yeah, when this came out, it was, I think, a bit of a disappointment for a lot of Beatles fans. Kind of a shock, actually. But through the years, it's really grown in stature, especially with me, and now I think it's just a 10 out of 10. Excellent. And then Ram, which I've always loved, but now this is my favorite box set of Paul McCartney's, and also probably my all-time favorite Paul McCartney solo album. And then this one, which I never really listened to because I didn't know it as well as I should have, because I'd always heard that it wasn't that good, and when I did hear it, I wasn't that impressed with the album. But when this came out, I first bought it on the, just the regular double CD when it was remastered, and I loved it, like almost right away. And so in time, I finally bought the box set of it. Red Rose Speedway. Very underrated. And then I've actually got this on CD. Venus and Mars from the archive collection. And then I believe it was on sale one time on Amazon, and I ended up buying the box set of it. Gotta clean that. The only thing is, these warp a little bit. I don't know if you can see, it's warped a little bit. I'm not happy, Paul. But it's not one of my favorite Paul McCartney albums, but it's really good, of course. But I don't play it that much. But I play it more than Wings at the Speed of Sound. Yeah, this one's, you can see, is a little warped too. Matches my brain. It's a good album, but once again, not one that I play very much. And then McCartney 2, once again, a very underrated. I love this album. I play it quite often. And it's not even, I don't think it's even warping. No, not yet. And the last one I have at the moment is Tug of War, which is good, once again, but not one of my favorite Paul McCartney albums. There's no bad Paul McCartney albums. Well, except maybe one. So the ones I have on CD, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are from the archive collection that I don't have as box sets. Plus Wings Over America, of course. So there is Wildlife, and this I believe is a double CD. Got a nice little booklet. And just like Red Rose Speedway, through the years it's grown in stature. It's still probably not most Paul McCartney fans' favorite, but it's really, really good. I think it's underrated. You might have heard of this one, Band on the Run. I do regret not buying this, the archive box set when it came out, and I know some of these box sets, especially his debut album, Mccartney. They're pretty expensive to buy now, and so is this one. But I've got the nice 3-disc. One is a DVD and 2 CDs. So this is the British version of the album. So Hell on Wheels is not on disc 1 of the remastered album, but it's on the bonus, so that's good. And of course, it's one of his great albums. I play this fairly often. Then there's Pipes of Peace. I was really thinking, because a lot of these, when they remaster them, they sound better, of course, and then you appreciate them more. But this one, it didn't help. The remaster did not help it. It's possibly my least favorite Paul McCartney album. But once again, it's a double CD. Nice little booklet and everything. So I didn't need the box set for it, because it's not one I would play very often. Then there's Paul McCartney, Give My Regards to Broad Street. This is the original CD that came out. I don't know if they'll ever have this remastered or not, but along with Pipes of Peace, it's my probably least favorite Paul McCartney album. He didn't really need to redo the Beatles songs, and No More Lonely Nights is a great song, of course, and there's 2 or 3. So Bad is great, but overall, it's not a favorite of mine. Then there's the Russian album that came out in 2019. I've only played it once. Not a favorite of mine once again. Comes with a little write-up on the songs. It's good, but I wouldn't say it's great. Paul McCartney, Flowers in the Dirt, archive collection, remastered. Once again, I thought, okay, it's remastered and everything, it's going to sound better. I might finally get into it. I still haven't. I love some of the songs, but My Brave Face, of course. This one, Put It There. But overall, it's just... and I'm a big Elvis Costello fan, like his first dozen albums or so. But for me, it's half great and half good. Flowers in the Dirt. This is a underrated album. When I was doing the rank and review, I'd never had it on CD or vinyl, so I had to buy it and play it a few times for the series. And I was surprised at how good Off the Ground is. I think it's a great album. Very underrated. And once again, I'm hoping it comes out in the archive collection at some point. One of his most respected later albums. This is kind of when he was having his comeback, of course, after the 80s. Flaming Pie is excellent. I would say, the thing with CDs is the running time, especially in the 80s and 90s, they would just cram the CDs with like 74 minutes of music, which isn't always necessarily for the best. Because an album like this is almost like a double album, I guess. But overall, it is excellent. Maybe if it was like 2 songs shorter, it would be even more superb. But I play this quite often, and it is great. This one I like more than the Russian album, but I don't play it too often. It's Run, Devil, Run. I love, love, love. No Other Baby. Great cover version of that song. And overall, it's a good listen. But not one of my favorites. Now here's an album that I know that a lot of Paul McCartney fans either dislike or they think it's mediocre or whatever. But, and I understand that, I do. But the thing is, I like it more than most Paul McCartney fans, Driving Rain. I think the main issue with it is, once again, it has too many songs. It's way too long. So if they trim the fat, this would have been an excellent album. As it is, it's a very good album. And I'm hoping at some point, with me, Mr. Mael, and maybe Glenn Kellaway from the Basement if he can, or a couple of other Paul McCartney fans, I would love to do a video of us together ranking all of the songs on Driving Rain. So hopefully see that in the near future. It'd actually be fun to at some point rank and review all of the songs on each of the albums, but starting with Driving Rain would be a lot of fun. This, along with Ram, is my favorite Paul McCartney album. Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. The first time I heard it, I thought it was okay. It was a little boring or slow. It's one of those albums you need to listen to 3 or 4 or 5 times to really take it all in. I think it's just, the lyrics are some of his best. The production. I think the Radiohead producer that produced this, I think he was a little more strict with Paul, and he wouldn't always go along with Paul, which is good. And it made for a great album. It's one of my favorites. It's a 10 out of 10. And I've told this story many times. I stopped listening to Paul McCartney. The last album I bought of his was Tug of War, which I did like. But after that, Pipes of Peace I never bought, and I never bought any of his albums for years and years and years. And I probably didn't even listen to his solo stuff very much. Until Memory Almost Full came out. I saw the video for Dance Tonight on YouTube back in the day, and it was so catchy. I really enjoyed it. I bought this album, and it's one of my favorites. It's excellent. The only thing I don't like is I wish I'd bought the regular CD, because sometimes I forget about it because it's over with my movies, because it can't really fit in the CDs. But Memory Almost Full is, for me, when Paul McCartney made his great comeback. Well, actually, no, that's wrong. I hadn't heard Flaming Pie. I'd heard that it was really good, but I still didn't bother buying it. But after I bought this, then I went back and I realized, oh, some of these albums are actually really, really good. And he's done 3 albums with Youth from Killing Joke called The Fireman. The only one I own is Electric Arguments, which is good. I rarely play it. I did play it, a handful of times when it came out and really enjoyed it, but once again, lots of songs on it. I think there's, 13, but once again, if it was like maybe 10 songs, I think it would have made for a better album. But it's still good. I do like it. I just don't love it. And then his latest one's New, which is excellent. Egypt Station, which is excellent. And McCartney 3, which is excellent. So I play all of these, the last 3, quite often. I hadn't played, when I bought this, I played it half a dozen times and I absolutely loved it. Then for months and months and months, I never got around to playing it again, but I played it again recently and it is excellent. Good job. Thumbs up, Paul McCartney. So yeah, that's it. I thought it might interest some of you. I love the feedback. This is why, the main reason I do these videos. It's not just to hear myself talking, believe it or not. I love your opinions. You can disagree with me, that's great. Just don't be rude. Try not to be rude, and we can disagree on friendly terms. Yeah, so I'd love your opinion on some of the albums, on all of the albums that I showed you, and which ones you love, which ones you can't get into, or you even dislike or hate. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.